guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new entitled people content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled This Time It Was Me. Not a bad story or anything. But definitely a cell phone. And I immediately thought of this sub when it happened. My daughter and I were at Target a week or so ago, and she wanted something in electronics. It was later in the evening, less than an hour from close. So of course, electronics was even more deserted than usual. We kind of wandered around for a minute looking for someone, and I suggested that we do the, smart thing and hit the need help button on the price checker thingy nearby. But my daughter refused for whatever obstinate reason. So we're standing there debating this, and I see this guy nearby dressed in fairly casual clothes, looking at a cell phone in a rather large black rubber case. And for some reason, my brain went, oh, he works here. Hey, there's a person. I told my daughter, because saying, excuse me, sir, can you give us a hand? He looked up, super confused, and almost simultaneously he and my daughter pointed out that he wasn't an employee. His exact words, bizarrely, were, I'm not lucky enough to work here. My daughter then thoroughly ridiculed me, because he wasn't even wearing red, he had on a bluish-gray shirt. In my defense, it's possible my brain mixed up my box stores and saw that like the blue that Walmart wears? I dunno. Only defense I have. I pointed out that somehow the cell phone he was holding kind of looked to me like the scanner ones they use there. That's literally the only reason I even thought it. Unlike most of this sub though, I did realize my mistake and apologize profusely. The next story is titled Pizza or Target. I work at a pizza place, small mom and pop place in the Midwest. We wear khaki and red shirts with a logo on the back. Not the Hut. When I was 17, 5 feet 1 blonde and blue eyes, I did cheer at school and worked at pizza place for extra money. I am also a bit a closet geek, nerd my girlfriend have told me. I collect the 6 inches Star Wars figures so I visit Target and GameStop for them. Anyway, since I didn't do delivery I worked in the back making pizzas and in front dinners. Anyway, if you can imagine that wearing a red polo and tan shorts or pants that going to Target might be confusing. The difference is that I am covered in nasty flour and pizza stuff. Anyway, I got paid and had $50. GameStop still had the ones I already had, though you cannot ever have enough stormtroopers, so I went down the other side of the mall to Target. This Target is a show Target, so they get he first runs or full stock items. I was going down the figure aisle and looking at the figures and had like 2 in my hand, Boba and a flame-throwing stormtrooper, when this guy asked me where the laundry detergent was. I said, sorry, I don't know, he said, you work here right? I said, turning around, I am rather petite, and kinda did with my hands down my sides showing the flour. No, and did the thumb thing to point to my back, I am shopping. He said, well, you look like you work here, and stormed off. This is a multi-story. I was then walking to the checkout with the 2 figures and 2 other people asked me. 1. Where is the toy aisle? I said, turn left and it's down that way. And the other, a young lady. Where is the body soap? She was a hot lady too, almost a MILF lol, and I said, I think it's that way. Maybe Target pays better. The next story is titled Psycho Lady Assaults My Little Sister. So, I've always read the posts on here and always thought how ridiculous, psychotic people could be. Well, unfortunately for my sister, from now on, and I dealt with one such psycho idiot, Pi. This all takes place last Friday afternoon. For a little background, I have a younger sister who is adopted and is also Colombian. So, compared to me, a pale, curly redhead, whose Irish descent cannot be mistaken for anything else, one can easily assume we have no relation at all to each other. Now, is also special needs. She is high-functioning autistic and is only really comfortable with our parents, me so of 6 years. Is physically 16, looks 11/12, but is mentally 8 in reality. To the nightmare, story. On Friday, I picked up from her school. I help out my parents a lot, plus my is my world. She is fortunate enough that she is able to attend a specialized school that caters specifically to kids with special needs. After I picked her up from school I had to run to the store known for khakis and red polos. S is wearing leggings with horses on them, her favorite animal, and a red tee with more horses. See where this is unfortunately going. We were in the grocery section, and I was grabbing a few things for dinner that night. We were in the pasta aisle, which also means mac and cheese. This so happens to be S' favorite food, plus she loves organizing the boxed and making the rows straight. I'm a couple feet away down the aisle, but still right there and keeping an eye on her, making sure she is okay. Enter Psycho Idiot. She rapidly approaches S, and my first thought was Pi must be in a hurry for something in the aisle. No. I was very wrong. Pi, to S. Where is the bread? S. Stares only BC. She doesn't talk to many people and is not okay with being randomly approached. Pi. What are you? Deaf? I said. Were. Is. The. Bread. At this point Pi is getting into S' personal space. Major trigger for her and people raising voices, and I'm already rushing to intervene. Me. Ma'am, S is not an employee, you are fighting her, please leave her alone. During this I have physically placed myself between S and Pi. Pi, however, doesn't accept this. Pi. Ha. You're just covering for this lazy ass employee trying to avoid work. Me. Attempting to keep my voice as even and calm as possible for S's sake. You need to leave my S alone. Now. You have entered her personal space and continually raised your voice. She clearly is not dressed like an employee and is acting less like one. Furthermore, you need to respect S and no one, worker or not, should be talked to like you just did to a little girl. Pi. Well, I never. She is being a lazy retard and needs to do her job. And more racial slurs plus ranting here. I don't remember all she said because I was still keeping an eye on S and was more concerned with her. During all this, S has now hidden behind our shopping cart and is rocking back and forth, while covering her ears. Pi, realizing her ranting is not getting S to tell her where bread is, decides the next option is to reach and grab S by the hair. Why she thought this would make a real employee help is beyond me. S starts screaming and I immediately slap Pi hand away and remove her from S. Pi. How dare you? Do you know WHOIAM? You are a worse employee than that idiot. I'm calling the police. You assaulted me. Me. Go right the hell ahead, idiot. I'd like to see you try. Pi storms off to find the manager at this point. I immediately turn and try to calm S down and lay down with her. This helps S, and start to hum a little. She is still upset but is starting to calm a little. Pi returns, sadly, with manager, M, in tow. Pi is going on and on about being assaulted and how S and I need to be fired, etc. M. Hello, what occurred? Pi is claiming you assaulted her? Me. Actually. She physically grabbed S, and yanked her hair because Pi believed S was an employee, despite me saying many times she is not. I had to forcibly remove Pi from S' head. So, if you call me defending my autistic sister assault, then go ahead. M is confused as he heard a very different story. Pi. It's too late now, idiot. I didn't do anything wrong. You're just mad you failed to pretend you and S don't work here and are now losing you jobs. M. Pi, neither of these women work here. You assaulted this girl and if anyone is pressing charges it would be S. If you'd like I can pull up security footage. Now, you can either leave right now, or be escorted by security. That is your choice to make. Pi, now getting the picture that she is in major trouble, tried to excuse her way out, but ultimately forcibly removed by security. But not before getting her information. M offers to give us everything we needed as comped, but I was more worried about S and getting her out. So, M gave us gift cards for future trips, and I got S back home as quickly as possible. Once home, and after helping S calm down, I called the police and reported Pi. The M told me he would provide the footage if needed. I told the police everything that happened, Pi's name and information, and that M has footage of the event. For anyone wondering, S is doing well but doesn't want to go anywhere near the Bullseye store and is refusing to interact with anyone but me right now. She is having night terrors, but I'm staying with parents and am sleeping in S' room with her currently to help S out and care for her. The next story is entitled Neighbor Uses Driveway Without Permission. My fiancé and I purchased our home a few years ago and our neighbor introduced herself shortly after we moved in. She seemed like a nice elderly woman who appeared to have custody of her young grandson. We had no issues until her middle-aged son moved in. This guy always yelled at the little boy and just generally acted like a duck. He drove a small, beat-up truck that leaked oil. His mother has a nice, long double-car driveway and didn't want oil stains on the concrete, so she had him park in the side yard next to our house. It was right outside of our kitchen window and kind of an eyesore, but it's her property, so whatever. We assumed that her son would drive through their yard to his parking spot, but apparently that was too inconvenient. Instead, he decided to back into our driveway and through our yard to get to his spot. We were always at work when he did this, but we caught it on our camera. Our driveway is gravel and isn't in the best of shape. Her son would take off too fast and throw gravel everywhere. After a couple days he started to leave a rut, so my fiancé went over there to ask him to stop. The mother answered the door and seemed annoyed by our request. Her son parked in their driveway after this, so we assumed that was the end of it. Well, while I was at work the following Friday I received a motion notification from one of our cameras. I check it and sure enough I see her son using our driveway once again. After work, I passive-aggressively decided to park my car at the end of our driveway. The entrance is only big enough for one car and there's a deep ditch on both sides, so I knew her son couldn't get out that way. We were planning on staying in for the weekend, so I wouldn't be moving it again until Monday morning. On Saturday we were doing yard work out front, and the son came out with his dog. He gave us a dirty look but didn't say anything. I figured he got the message. We woke up around noon on Sunday to a bunch of notifications from our doorbell camera. I pull up the videos and see the neighbor's son absolutely fuming. He rang our doorbell 5 times and stood on our porch for 20 minutes. The whole time he was throwing his hands up and muttering about needing to leave. He actually expected us to get up, go outside in the pouring rain, and move my car so he could use our driveway to get out. He must have driven through his mother's yard to leave because his truck was gone. After that day he never said anything to us and only parked in her driveway, so I guess he learned his lesson. The thing is, if he would have asked us first we might have worked something out with him, but instead he wanted to act like an entitled a-hole. The next story is titled No, I'm Not Your Coworker. I have been a long-time lurker, but today it finally happened to me. I went out today to do some early Christmas shopping. I know it's not even Thanksgiving yet, but I love Christmas. I went to an outdoor store that was having a sale on cozy socks I thought my mother-in-law might like. I was browsing all the different patterns when this interaction happened. For simplicity's sake I'll be me, the store manager will be SM. SM. Hello, can I help you find anything? Me. No thank you, I'm just browsing. SM. Do you need me to bring more socks out from the back? Me. No, that's alright, I'm fine with what I have. SM. Well, the shelves won't be very stocked with just those few pairs. Me. SM. Aren't you stocking these shelves? You really shouldn't be shopping while you're working. Me. Looks down at green sweater and jeans I'm wearing that look nothing like the blue uniform. No, I don't work here? SM. If you don't work here, then why are you stocking these shelves? Me. I'm not, I'm shopping. This circular argument went on for another few minutes until I finally walked away. I'm not sure he ever got that I didn't work for him. How can a manager not know his own employees? The next story is titled You'll Have My Job. Okay. This should be interesting. On mobile, yada, yada. I am reminded of something that happened to a friend of mine maybe 1 or 2 years ago after reading another post on which a Karen threatened to have someone's job. I'll tell this story as it was told to me, in the first person. So, I'm out shopping for a few things: bread, milk, bin bags, etc. I remember that I need some ham, so I go to the cooked meats aisle, and look for something tempting. As I'm searching for something nice, I hear a voice behind me saying, "Excuse me," in a not at all polite manner. I look over my shoulder, and see the local Karen. I acknowledge her and take 2 steps to the side, but don't turn around. I feel a tap on my shoulder, and the same non-too-polite voice saying, "Excuse me. I'm talking to you. Don't ignore me." I turn around, and open my mouth to ask what she wants and why she's being rude, but before I can speak, she starts berating me for being a lazy member of staff, and ignoring her. I say, "If you think I work here, you're wrong. I don't." And she says, "You're just being ducking lazy. I'll have your job." Really? I say, badly feigning surprise, "You'll have my job?" "Yes, I will." She says, with a strange mixture of superiority, righteousness and stupidity. "Okay. Suit yourself. You can have it." I waved my hands around in strange shapes, and announced, "You are now officially a member of staff." It is said that a picture can speak 1,000 words, but the look on her face at this point just said, "What the duck?" But I want you to get things for me. I want. She starts. Don't ask me. I'm a customer. You should ask a colleague, since you work here. In fact, you can help me with what I need. What? But I don't work here, she gibbers. Yes, you do. You said you'd have my job, and I gave it to you. Now duck off, and leave me alone. She stomps off, but that wasn't the end of it. Another customer, who's clearly seen the interaction, stopped her halfway up the aisle, and said, loudly enough for me to hear, oh, finally someone who works here. Can you get that heavy thing off the top shelf? Oh, duck off. She exploded, and walked, presumably, out the shop. Other customer, you absolute legend. The next story is titled, Please Understand Before One of Us Dies. I work at a college, not as a teacher or teacher's assistant but as Dynamics 365 specialist. So I'm in the IT department, but I am not the guy who comes to your desk to fix your computer. I am an expert in a specific system. This all means that while I do work here, I do not work here. Where, here, is the desktop services team. This is relevant because one day I'm at work in the IT office and I hear a knock on the door. For reference, the actual area we work in on the second floor of a building. The other floors are used for storage and there is a single staircase that connects them. At the bottom of that staircase is an access-controlled door. If you don't have the code, you're not getting in. So I get up, lock my PC, head downstairs and open the door. I am faced with some random teacher holding a laptop who shoves it at me and says, "This is broken, fix it or give me a new one and do it now." My response is the classic, "Sorry, I'm not part of the desktop services team. If you would like to leave me the ticket number for the ticket you've raised, then I'll get one of the technicians to contact you when they get back." Teacher engages Karen mode. "Give me a new computer. You IT people, you're all so lazy. All you do is play computer games all day. We know you always lie to us." She goes on. I stop listening. I respond with a repetition of the previous statement, and when she doesn't listen I just close the door on her. This is where it gets really fun. Her response is to throw the laptop at the door. Laptop 0, door 1, and then shout that she is friends with the head of IT and will get me fired as she storms off. So, I pull out my phone and call my boss. Coincidentally, my direct boss is the head of IT services and she is amazing to work for. Explain what just happened and ask her what I should do. She, my boss, asks me if the asset tag on the laptop is still in the wreckage by the door. Happily it is. This lets us find out who is the person responsible for the laptop. Long story short, my boss talks to her boss and she gets fired for gross misconduct and destruction of company property. The next story is titled Confuse a Karen. I popped into a local shop yesterday for bread and milk, and a few other bits. It's fairly cold, so I'm in my outdoor coat, hat and gloves, and look nothing like the sales staff. I was searching for bread sauce, when I hear a throat being cleared noisily nearby, and a very brusque, impatient lady's voice saying, "Excuse me." I think to myself, it's the dreaded Karen, and I recognize that voice. This one I am pretty sure I've met before. I know that saying, "I don't work here," won't work, but this gives me an idea. A little experiment, if you will. So I turn to her and say, "Ah, the manager. Just the person I wanted to see." She looks at me with a priceless expression of confusion, mouth silently working as she tried to think of a response, and says, relatively meekly, "But I don't work here." I reply to her, "Don't you? Oh, well, I do apologize. So, what do you want?" Nothing." And walks away looking like the walls of her mind had just collapsed. I'm using this one again. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.